let's create this pink vase. We're going to use a similar technique as we used for the handle. So let's create a Bezier curve, rotate it, and then essentially we are going to manipulate it so that the curve looks like the silhouette of the vase. So to do that, select the object, tab into edit mode. Edit mode, great. And then we're gonna need some more points on this curve. So we can do that by subdividing the curve. So now we have 4 handles to work with. So as we can see at the very top of the vase or vase, we have this bit here that flares. So let's try to recreate that. Cool. And then the next sort of inflection point, if you will, is right below that flare. So let's move this. I'm just going to move this point up a bit. Maybe scale it down. And then the next vertex. Let's create another vertex. Cool. The next vertex is going to be like way out. Okay, so I'm just using my eye, using my brain to replicate this curve here. Okay, and then we want this to be a little bit wider. Cool. So now we have the silhouette of this curve, and we want to add geometry, similar to how we wanted to add geometry to the handle earlier. So in this case, we're going to navigate to the Modifier tab, and then, we are going to add something called a screw modifier here. And essentially what the screw modifier does is create geometry around the entire curve. So yeah, so now we can, with the curve modifier applied, we can have a better read on what the shape will look like. Okay, and just fiddle with it until you get something that resembles the vase. Okay, this is pretty close. And we're going to apply the materials in the same way we did before. Okay, so hot tip for adding materials to the vase, because the vase is essentially a Bezier curve, you first need to convert the curve to a mesh. And You can do that by just right-clicking and then going to Convert to and then select Mesh. After you do that, make sure you also hit Control A, Apply All Transforms. This essentially has the program recalculate everything all of the changes you've made. So it takes into account all the changes you've made and then recalculates the orientation of everything based on that. And then also, just for good measure, you can go to Mesh up here in Edit tab, navigate down to Normals, and then select Recalculate Outside. And once you do all these things, you should be able to apply the ceramic polished vase material to the vase, and then just play around with the color a bit. So next we're going to import these flowers, the flowers that belong inside the vase. And for this project, I used the Sketchfab add-on. There's a specific add-on built for Blender, produced by Sketchfab, that makes importing and exporting OBJs and other file types really, really easy. It's very convenient, very awesome. So I need to log in. That's the first step. Okay, now that I'm logged in, I'm going to essentially look up flowers here. And then the search results will pop up. So this is basically how I found the flowers. If the add-on is working a little bit slow for you, you can also just go to the website, which is equally as pleasant an experience. Because I've already downloaded the flowers, I can just go to import them. As you can see, we have the flowers all situated inside of the vase. These are looking very good. Thank you to Sketchfab artists.